Well, hello folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you, and let's get right on into it. All right, let's pull up the screen. All right, it's been several days since I've updated Ilus. There hasn't been a whole lot of information in the last few days, but we did get an important tweet today from Ilus International, and we're going to go over that and going to talk about what's going on with them and talk about the share price and look at the chart as well. So let's get into Ilus. All right, folks, Ilus just tweeted out, it says, our 2021 filings, including the share structure update, are on track for submission this week as required. Further updates and or information will be provided on EU first phase, shareholder Q&A, and first quarter progress. So that's this week. So that's going to be real helpful information, I believe. And I have been asking for the share structure update for a while and complaining about it. And you know, they're not responding to me, I can assure you. They've worked hard on this, I'm sure, and probably getting sick and tired of being asked about it. So this will get out there and we can all feel a little better about it. Now, the reason the share structure is important, I want to know the outstanding shares because this thing has not been updated since November of last year, and it's time we need to have a, up-to-date outstanding shares. And I know they've been driven about half crazy with they had a little bit of toxic debt from the past where these, I don't know if it was warrants or what was going on with it, but some shares were sold without their knowledge, and was very frustrating to them because they've been working hard on these outstanding shares and trying to get it below 1 billion. They've had trouble because all of a sudden 70 million shares get sold. So they feel like, these are their words, that that's the end of it. They believe, may not be 100% sure, but they think that's the end of it. And they think it was from a company that had a loan, and they would have liked to have the opportunity to rework that loan and not have those shares hit the outstanding balance, but it did. So I think that's about made Nick Link pretty furious across the board. I don't think he'd mind me using that word because based on his shareholder letters, it's been pretty clear he's been livid. But again, it sounds like this week we will get an update on outstanding shares, and I just want that information. I don't like not knowing the updated amount of shares outstanding. That makes me uncomfortable, and it also makes it hard to know what the market cap is. And when I'm investing, I need that information. Now the shorts, man, they're up there. Look here, we're sitting at 47% volume, short volume on Ilus. So there's some day traders and folks really shorting the crap out of this stock right now, and that's probably keeping it from going up. Because realize when somebody shorts a stock, what they're doing, they're renting the stock from somebody that owns the shares long term. They pay them a little percentage, or it could be a big percentage depending on the risk level. But they pay them for those shares. Then they take those shares and they immediately sell them on the market. Well, what that does is put downward pressure on the price. Okay, now they're trying to push that stock down. Now they take that money from selling those shares and they've got it. Okay, but they've got to return those shares from who they borrowed them from. Okay, plus the little percentage of interest on it. So what they do is they try to push it down, not only through selling the shares, some of them, not all of them, will go on social media and try to rip the company, and they'll spread FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And you hear that all the time. And it's a good way to scare, especially investors who might be new to investing, especially penny stocks, which a lot of new investors like to go into penny stocks. Well, they get scared. And, oh, I better sell my shares. Well, then that price goes down. They buy them back at the lower price, and they get to keep that difference where they sold it and where they bought it. That's their difference. However, if the stock price starts going up, they might panic and buy, and all of a sudden you get a short squeeze. And we've seen that with many stocks, and it's been sort of last year it was huge, as you can imagine. But you can get some little mini short squeezes. So that's the deal with shorts. So don't be surprised if you see a lot of negativity out there on social media. Some of it might be legit, but also a lot of it might be crap. So just keep that in your mind. Now the share price is sitting at 14 cents, and it has been stuck there for about 3 or 4 weeks. It's just kind of been sitting right there, a little up, a little down, but pretty much stuck to this 14 cents. And we've got resistance sitting at about, that's very little at 15. That's probably from back a year ago. Yeah, it is. But the one that interests me is this one right here around 20 cents. If it could get above that, I think it could move on up pretty good. But right now, that's what we're dealing with. And then the low support comes from several places, but even from last year and then through all the way to now. So, and it's sitting at about 11, 12 cents. Let me draw that out a little further. It's right at 12 cents. And it could also, you know, I know some people have been looking to buy it at 10, which would be this support right here. And that comes from back about several months ago. But I think that's probably support. I'm pretty comfortable with that. And that's why, like I said, if it does drop down to that, I'll be a buyer of it. I've tried several times to pick it up at 12 cents, but I've been unsuccessful since I bought it at 11. But if it does come down here, I'm all over it like a duck on a June bug. Because right now I've got some dry powder and I wouldn't mind putting it into Ilus, but I want it at my price. So, you know, I'm going to be stubborn about that because I already own Ilus and I've got a pretty good chunk of it. I'd like to have some more, but I'm not going to push it. Because, you know, I'm waiting on the European deal and all of that. But the reason that I've got some dry powder is I just got rid of most of my oil stocks, which, like I say, they were fantastic. The Marathon Oil was a 5-bagger, and Occidental was a 4-bagger.
How's bragging camp going?
Yep. So I'm looking to, you know, use some of it. But like I said, I'm going to be patient. And let's see what's going on also. And let's remind some folks about Ilus. When you hear them speak about the European deal, that's a huge government contract that they're working on. It's actually going to go in 2 phases, and it's a 1,300 staff eventually. My understanding it's going to be an EV company, and it'll be in the fire and safety sector. But it's going to be a huge deal. You're talking about big-time money, and I think it'll be one they use to spin off for NASDAQ because they've talked about uplisting to NASDAQ quite a bit. The share reduction, they initially wanted to be well under 1 billion, but I think with those 70 million shares that were sold by that company, they're probably going to have to try to get it as close to 1 billion as possible. And I'll change that to close to 1 billion shares because that's what they said about a week or 2 ago. We know they're working on 10 possible acquisitions. Of course, another 9-figure acquisition in the U.S., which they're working on that as well. We know the uplist to NASDAQ, that'll be happening hopefully within 3 to 6 months, according to J.P. Backwell, and they said no reverse split. The preferred and restricted shares that they own, and I'm going to go over that in a minute, they're using in acquisitions, which makes perfect sense. And my understanding is they are restricted for some period of time, approximately 2 years. We know about the water mist technology, the discussions with Tesla, the Vera drones, and believe me, there's so many things I could put on this list. But it would just be ridiculous. You know, it would take me all day to cover them all. They've got a lot going on with this company. And I'm going to refer to this in virtually every video that I do. This was a letter to the investors from back April 5th. And it says, my holding company, this was Nick Link, my holding company holds 390 million common shares, all the preferred A, D, and E shares. We have not sold a share and do not have plans to sell any. Rest assured our interests are mutually aligned. That's a big deal. That really is, and I wish other CEOs would come out with something like that so that as investors, we don't have to worry about the preferred shares coming out and, you know, being a problem. But he did a real good job with that, and it makes me more comfortable as an investor. And like I said, these are his words, so I'm gonna believe him as long as, you know, he continues to do what he says he's going to do. Now, there have been times they've not done it as fast, but you're also dealing with the Rona, which has been a nightmare to try to do business. They've done a lot in a short period of time. Having been in business for 30 plus years myself, I'm kind of shocked how much they've gotten acquired and done. It's really been outstanding. I think they overpromise on time though. We're going to get this done in a week or 2, and something comes up that, you know, somebody gets sick or something like that with the Rona, especially back early this year, and you're stumped for 2 or 3 weeks. So it's been quite difficult to try to operate a business, especially an acquisition business right now. But they've accomplished a lot. And also, you know, I've heard a lot of people talking about what happened with Will Smith and how he smacked a celebrity. And I watched it, and I didn't think it was that big a deal. Yeah, see, I didn't think it was that big a smack. But, you know, it happens with these celebrities. All right, folks, and that's Ilus. That's an Ilus update. And, of course, if as more information comes out, I'll certainly cover it. Hopefully, like I said, we'll get that big update letter. and that'll be very interesting. If you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Lets me know to continue to cover Ilus. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I'd certainly appreciate it. And I hope you did like the content. And we'll see you next time on Mr. Frugal Investor.